Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Chasing Orlando. This is season 2, episode 6. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe, share this video, and you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this week's episode. All right, so they took a break last week, but we're back. We start off this episode with AO. It's been a while since everyone has gotten together. Everyone's there except for Rashida, Reginald, B-Baby, and Max. Max did a YouTube video on last week and said, you know, I stopped filming with them after this last episode because he felt set up. I feel it was a setup. All the players, I don't know. But as I said in my last video, it's just really strange that you let that clip out of that gun on Max, which you've had a problem with Max since the beginning. So the only thing you wanted to say about B-Baby, because you were mad about how his friend was carrying on, that's how you decided to deliver the news that he was allegedly on drugs. But during this time where you've had other arguments, you didn't reveal at any point that Max was the one that was saying this. But now it is, after what you said that he made you lose one of your jobs that you were a part of. I feel like it's strategic. There's no other way that you were going to get any type of beef because you're too cool and familiar with the other people on the cast. You don't know Mark, but you do have some type of familiar, you have some type of, you had something that you were able to draw off of to have a beef with Max. All right, so AO has, it's the top golf event. You see everyone swinging and all that good stuff, and Mark is in his confessional saying that today we had a great time. Nothing's popped off or anything. But it's a testament of who is not here to why we had such a great day. But I guess it's hard for me, Mark. Yes, you are a part of this group, but you have these strong convictions about people within this group already. Yes, you can have your opinions, and that's why people are looking at you like, what's going on? Why you got this going on and saying all this? Especially towards B-Baby in specifics. Anyways, they sit down. Mark says, you know, I did miss out on your event, talking to Pablo, because I didn't know what my temperature would have been. I don't know if I would have been cool, calm, and collected because of prior conversation of Max, with Max, where we found out, okay, there's a connection there as to why you have this certain displeasure in B-Baby. Again, I don't want to take away your voice and your opinion about it, but y'all got some strong opinions about folks that you don't know. I do know, per Max, that y'all used to hang out a little bit. I don't know if it was before the show or not, but you guys started hanging out. And then all of a sudden, after what happened at the pool party, y'all separated. Max wanted to get to the bottom of it because he didn't feel like that wasn't the biggest thing, because it's like, oh, okay. Max is saying that he was looking for a moment. I don't remember that being said, and maybe it wasn't just given to us on air. However, he wanted to find out, okay, so what is this that you have with B-Baby? And then you let us know that B-Baby knows one of my exes that I'm territorial over. I was like, oh. I mean, that explains why you're talking the way that you are, and all that good stuff. So, Mark, all I gotta say is that I haven't seen any of this type of energy with Max or B-Baby to their face. Now it's about your temperature. It's gotten that high. Like, I want to know what's going on. It's hard for me as a viewer. I don't know what's going on because this season there's a lot of self-producing where there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and then we get on camera, we're like, how did we get here? Mark still feels a way about this whole B-Baby situation. Like, I wouldn't look for a moment. I'm really talking about with B-Baby's company that he keeps. But you have really no energy for Cali Boy, who is also friends with this dude. Yes, Cali Boy says that he has a connection a little bit because of him being a post survivor. Cool. I think is it called Post or Pulse? Whatever it is. Anyways, y'all hurried up and moved on because you said that, or you said this in the comments, Mark, about when you were meeting up with Remini that day, that Cali Boy took accountability, even though we didn't see that on air. Okay, so how much accountability does B Baby have to take for a grown ass man? I don't get it. I think him getting punched out, that dude, was enough to send a message of, don't come around here doing this stuff no more. What, like, what? So you're just saying get away from him? Basically, what you're saying, that if you hang out with this person, that you obviously are this type of person. Nobody's really spoken up for B Baby as of yet, which I think is crazy. It's besides Max. Nobody's even like said, no, that's not B Baby's character. No matter what, nobody will say that. So Mark, are you looking for a moment? I'm gonna put that on the table. And then also, I think this was around the time Marlo starts now wanting to interject herself in and starts talking about Max and all that. Mark then cuts in when he didn't cut in, but now he has something else to say as far as the point of, well, you're sitting up here. Oh, Marlo talked about defaming his, Max was saying that Marlo was trying to defame his character and all that. And then Mark was like, you're talking about character as a Max, but you're with this friend that has this man around him that's doing all this stuff at a pool party. Was there a fight? No, it's not as far as physical. Was there some type of verbal argument between Mark, B Baby, and Max? Because we didn't know anything was wrong with y'all. That's the thing that we're missing. Like, what is happening? So I don't get why it's so important as to who B Baby is hanging around. I don't get that. Anyways, Marlo says that everyone needs to watch out for Max. You do, and you do. And pointing at Remini. Remini was there. AO did say something like, I was shocked that he came. I guess there's a lot of problems between him and AO, but they didn't discuss it, or at least it didn't air. And I'm thinking when Marlo said that Remini needs to watch out for him, I said, why? Because you know he's gonna start talking about that stuff about your ex. Why would he? I don't get that. Remini start talking about, oh, they talked about it before because they matched on a Facebook dating thing, and then that kind of just curtailed the conversation altogether because everybody is shocked with that. What does that mean? Nobody's even brought up Remini stuff. Remini already brought out on camera. He got ahead of the story, so I don't understand why Max would want to dip his toe in that. You are throwing all kinds of shit against the wall to see what sticks. You said in your confessional, and I already said that there is something strategic going on. There's a vendetta. I don't know what sign you are or what's all in your heart, Marlo. You want revenge. And I think I said that 2 weeks ago. You want revenge. Because then you said in your confessional, we'll get there in just a second. I forgot that Marlo, she started crying because it just jumped to the scene. Basically, what I was getting from that is that she's upset that she lost that job opportunity. And she blames it all on Max. And she says, you don't know how hard it is for me as a person. Y'all can get jobs. Me being trans and all that, it's harder to get one. I'm sure it's hard. Where is your lack of self-awareness for yourself? Why can't you handle your own temperance? You're responsible for you. Yet Max is the problem. Max said on his thing that we were cool, chill, even at that event, for Marlo's event. She came over to me saying, I'm going to put on the show about this whole Wild Baboon situation. And then things got heated from that moment. You started with him yet again. So, yeah. A lot of people aren't going to challenge you on the show because they've been cool with you off camera. Rashida is your lapdog. Pablo's not going to do it because he's family with you. You're cool with AO. You're cool with Cali Boy. If y'all can't see it, I don't know. I've been spending too much time on that scene. But then she says, every time he said, what Marlo said is that Max belittles her. And she said that I guess it's because of I'm able to activate people. Do you know how the word choices that you use, ma'am, gives it away all the time? Well, she didn't say activate, I'm using it, but it's around in that arena. I'm the one that's able to get things started. So then you're already admitting that you are the one that instigates stuff. You're telling on yourself, and even more in this confessional. She's saying, every time I see Max, I am going to even the score. And you're going to get eye for an eye. Eye for an eye. So I don't even have to put that on the table. It's being served to y'all as to what's going on with Marlo. And yet, nobody says, Marlo, you've been doing too much. It's just Max. So don't act like y'all some logical people if you can't call people out for what they did and their part in this whole situation. Okay, so Max, he ends up having a meeting or dinner, lunch or whatever with two of his co-workers. I believe that this is at Neiman Marcus and all that. And he announces to them, there were two women, that he's going to be leaving Neiman Marcus and going into selling luxury apartments. He says that really Neiman Marcus has been more holding him back from the things that he wanted to do. A lot of other things, still weighing on him. He's grieving and all that, and he's not having a real balance with was it work-life balance? That's what it was. He's not really able to handle that with this position, and he's able to walk more into what he wants to do as far as his career and his goals and all that, according to his chicks. They congratulated him. They're going to miss him. Obviously, they'll be really cool and all that good stuff. So next, Mark, he meets up with BB, the one that he mentioned in like episode 2 or 3 that he had this falling out and all that, and wanted to see how they could possibly have a talk and all that good stuff. They spark up conversation, and Mark says, from your perspective, why haven't we spoken in 5 years? It really comes down to the whole situation of Mark calling the police. Mark says that when he did that, he was not doing that in a malicious way as far as gunning for her. Of course, we know that she had some equipment and all that, and he wanted it back. She was saying during that conversation, like, she felt like she knew how to take better care of it. But anyways, she said, well, you called the police and I wasn't even there. And Mark said, well, no, that can't be true because your dog was there. Your car was there. And I was hearing noises on the inside. BB claims that somebody else is there. Mark says, well, there's no shadow of a doubt in his confessional. I know her patterns and all that. We find out that they were really more, although on Mark's end on how he felt about BB, he felt like they were more, did he say best friends? But at least friends. He might have said best friends, but you were trying to treat me like a momager in a way, and it was a lot. And some other things personally about her, and you really wanted to take the main stage and all that, and now you're on the main stage as much as you was trying to say that you weren't on the main stage. You didn't want to be noticed and have any attention on you. And she was like, well, I really did this more as a way to prove to other people, like, don't come for me. Because I can do what you think that I say that you say that I can't do. Anyway, he congratulates her on that. And then he was talking about other things in regards to her disrespecting his mom, and then he ended up disrespecting her mom and all that, and all that good stuff. So I guess they're moving on a better path. Cali Boy has this opportunity of, because he does makeup and all that. He's doing makeup for Christelle Miles. Christelle Miles' story is being told on BET for, what's the show called? Ooh, I know what the show is because I think it's on BET Plus. But anyways, he's doing her makeup and all that. It sounds like they're friends or whatever. And she's asking about the mom. He has power of attorney over her and has moved in with him. He was saying, sometimes the weight on me and even carrying this. Of course, people are saying it's so admirable that you're doing this. No disrespect to Cali Boy. This is in general. I kind of wish people stopped saying that. Does Cali Boy have to do it? No. Love will make you do it though. If I was in that position, just ask me, is there anything that you could do to help? He just was talking about in his confession, like he felt like offing himself, just for the pressure of handling all this, So yeah, so he's got his professional client that's going to be on BET with the beat face that he made. All right, Marlo. Marlo is at the Stafford House. It's an organization for trans women, and I think it's trans women. I don't know if it's trans men also, but at least I'll just say trans people, whatever. I briefly looked it up after it was being mentioned. What is it called? Divas in Dialogue and all that good stuff. So, this organization, they meet regularly to check up on each other. It's a support group. I looked further, and they did a free testing for any STIs, sexually transmitted diseases and all that good, STDs, HIV. And it looks like all of that was for free, what I was looking at online. But then funding was cut. So now some things does cost a little bit to be tested, but if you need all that, it's there. I thought that was cool. Rashida is there also. Rashida was a part of the program before Marlo got there. But Rashida feels like that Marlo is really the one to lead the charge as, I guess, being a leader for trans women, even though Rashida has probably more knowledge and more experience in this whole situation. And Rashida's there to find out more information as to the new laws and how they changed and They talk about an experience of a naturally born woman calling the police on a trans woman that went into the women's bathroom to try to get them locked up and all that. That stuff happens a lot. At the point of Rashida saying what she said, I looked up something that I just will reveal next week that I saw, because it's regarding a storyline that was played out in like episode 2 or 3. Let's put that on the table. Because I said, and I was just curious. I was not trying to gag someone, but I feel like I did gag this person because I'm trying to figure out why we even aired this. Not as far as aired this. Why was this shot? Because there's no way that it should have been shot. But we'll talk about that next week. Rashida's talking about, I believe when you came along that I knew that you were the one for what? I guess the advocate person. But Marlo's going to be getting into politics and wants to be like a councilwoman for her county or her city, whatever. All I can say is, Marlo, I think that you need to shape your life better. You did say that you were mad at, you wish that you didn't invite the people that brought Max along to your pool party, because there's no blame on your behalf as to why you acted the way that you did. I cannot believe that. And now you're getting into politics and lying your way out of being accountable for what you do. You're going to have a hard fight, even outside of challenges as even being a trans person. But because of how you act, it's the way you act. And at this point, I want to really hear what your family, your biological family, has to say about you. We know what your chosen family is saying. I want to know. I want to know the ones that know the real you. I want to hear what they got to say, because I'm not hearing the way you operating on this show. And I question what's really up between you and your parents. I question it at this point. I say go for it if you're going to go for it, but I think you need to clean up some stuff in your personal life for people to be confident about you, because the city princess. What do you want to do? Reality TV, content creating as a gossip blog, or advocate for trans people through the political realm? Could you possibly do all three? Yeah, but I think you need to fine-tune yourself before getting into politics. Fabio, he goes and visit some old buddies that he had when he was boxing. He got into a car accident and basically it ended his career with boxing. He just lets them know in regards to the music that he's got going on and having the blocks that he has, as getting licensing to use the music and all that good stuff. So he felt great being around that type of energy at that point. So, but it was a short scene. B-Baby goes and meets with his two friends, and I think they're more his best friends, and tells them what went on at Pablo's thing. And now he's finding out, or at least was being told, as to who started the whole drug rumor. And he says, y'all know who the F it was. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, B-Baby. And he says, you know, it's Max. But you put it as like, Max has been public enemy number one towards you. And they've been talking about him. I mean, later on we find out a little bit more. But B-Baby, what's going on there between you and your friends? I know that these are your best friends or whatever, but you've been talking about Max beforehand. I will say that B-Baby didn't put the blame on Max, but he's confused at this point, because why are you in my face doing all this? And it's just not cool. Now, one of his other friends said, look, the reason I think that he would do that is because of jealousy. I said, what? And I only met him twice, but I told you he's jealous of you. I said, is he? I could see Max being jealous of B-Baby if they had the same chase or something like that. They live two totally different worlds. I've always seen him celebrate B-Baby. I've always seen him celebrate anyone that's in his life. What is he jealous of? And I'm not going to reduce B-Baby to a stripper or adult entertainer. I won't say adult entertainer. Exotic dancer, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to reduce him to that. They're on two different paths. What? I think the friend is way off and all of that, and maybe you're intimidated by Max. I think you need to look inside yourself in regards to that. But it does seem like B-Baby does talk about Max to them a lot. And maybe they just have a lot to say about him. But anyways, he says that he's going to confront Max, and that's the best thing. I did not understand why he had not talked to Max and just talking to them. But I guess we'll see. As of yet, we don't see, as far as previews for next week, we don't see that him sitting down with Max. But we do see him sitting down with Mark. Interesting. That's all I do have. I think I spent a lot of time at the beginning because I see you, Marlo. I see you. I would love to root for you for your advocacy for the trans people, but I see you. I see you for who you are. And we're going to discuss you a whole lot more in the next episode. That's all I do have. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like this video. You can also subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Until the next one, peace.